He is also an adjunct faculty member at Lehigh Carbon Community College. Walker earned his undergraduate degree from St. John's University and a master's degree at Kutztown University. He is currently pursuing a doctorate degree in education from the University of Pittsburgh, with a focus on the intersection of hip hop, entrepreneurship, and education. Stephan went from being a teenager at the Caring Place in Allentown, working with mentors, to doing some mentoring himself at the center. He is also on the board at the Caring Place, and he is also a member of the Lehigh Valley Health Network Board of Associates. Stephan is a very passionate person about entrepreneurship and has been a frequent speaker at the Lehigh Valley My Brother's Keeper events, which they said he spoke. He was a MC last year. He's also a frequent speaker at the Community Action's Start Your Own Business program, and he's also a guest lecturer at the Penn State Lehigh Valley Teen Entrepreneurship Summer Camp. He has served as an advisor for entrepreneurship clubs at several institutions and now currently fulfills a role at Kutztown University.
When he is not working, conducting research for his doctorate, or volunteering, his main focus is spending time with his family, which consists of Latoya, Nakaya, and Camden. Building a strong legacy for his family and community are the things that really motivate him. His goal with his new brand, Future Doc, is to provide paths and scholarships for the young youth starting with the Lehigh Valley.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Stephan Walker.
Hi. How y'all doing tonight? That was so weak. How are y'all doing tonight? That's what I'm talking about. First and foremost, I'm beyond impressed with the students that come in here every year. So I was the MC last year, and I was also the MC the year before. And I will say, I don't know where you guys find these kids, if you're giving them academic steroids. I wish I had that in Allen High School because I stumbled across my transcript last week. And I graduated Allen with a 2.5 or something like that. So it really wasn't that immaculate. But I love where I am now. So I say that to say this. I don't know what I was about to say, honestly. But going through the education journey, right? So coming out of high school and listening to the stereotypes and things of that nature, there wasn't a lot of hope for myself. It was just go to college, just go to college. That's what you're supposed to do, just go to college, figure it out, right? But one thing I always knew is I wanted to start my own business. What it would be, zero clue. So I just jumped into Northampton Community College, did my 2 years there, had very little help or academic advising while I was there. So I transferred to New York because I knew I just needed to get out of Allentown. I knew for me to thrive, I needed to be in a new environment and outside of my comfort zone. For example, speaking, way outside my comfort zone. Anybody who knew me 10 years ago to now, you'd be like, you speaking, you're the most shyest, introverted, awkward person in history of speakers. But I'm still here. So going to school and transferring to New York and being outside of my comfort zone, that was probably the biggest blessing I've ever had. Transferring and not knowing what was going to happen next. I graduated. I came back home. I had a daughter on the way, which you guys met. And I was going for a real estate license at the same time. And I decided, I harassed Kutztown. So I said, listen, I'm going for this graduate degree. I need to get in. My GMATs were horrible. I had a 450 the first time. They told me to take it again. I had a 500. They were like, all right, we'll let you in. I said, all right, now that I'm officially accepted, I need to go full time. I need 4 classes a semester. I'm trying to be in and out of here in a year. I'm sorry, that's not normal. Are you sure you can handle that? I said, I've been doing 6 classes a semester and full-time summers for the past 2 years. I think I'll be fine. So that first semester I wanted to quit. But I got through it. I wrapped up in August, I walked December 2007. And so now that was just about 10 years ago. So much has changed with having, 2 children, a lot of different changes in Allentown, the city, the development that's occurred down here. I'll be 100% honest. When I moved to New York, my goal was to never come back here. But since I'm back and being a part of different things that are going on and being active in the community, I'm happy that things worked out the way they did. One of the interesting things for me is the transition of each year. When I first emceed here, I was about to start at Pitt, and I was terrified, and I was asking some of these students here that had 4.0s and all these credits, I'm like, can y'all do my work for me? Because this is crazy. And so now, 2 years later, and I look at my transcripts from high school, undergrad, grad school, and where I'm at now, I went from, struggling at St. John's to, I finished St. John's with a 3.01. I finished my MBA at Kutztown with a 3.4. My goal was a 3.5. And right now, I'm at about a 3.7. And honestly, my family has kept me very grounded. I think, honestly, I got to give a shout out to my daughter and Toya, because over this past year, I don't think I've gotten all A's ever since really getting close with my family. So first time in my life I ever had a 4.0. But to try to continue to wrap this up, because I could tell a bazillion stories, I will say this: I'm very thankful to see a lot of people in this room that have been along for the journey. I got brothers, they're not friends, they're brothers, sisters, my daughter, of course, my work family, and just a lot of people I care about all in one place. So I think that that's great. As Toya mentioned, something that's big, and Nakai also mentioned, my research, I'm focusing on the intersection of education, entrepreneurship, and hip-hop culture. And one thing that's major to me is to really turn things around for everybody is, economics, right? So economic empowerment really comes through innovation and entrepreneurship, and this is why this is something that's very, very big to me. So in the spirit of Black History Month, a quote from a song from one of my favorite hip-hop artists, which is Jay-Z. He has a quote in one of his songs off the Blueprint, and he says, "I represent for the seat where Rosa Parks sat, where Malcolm X got shot, where Martin Luther got popped," right? Those people aren't here anymore, but they stood up for something that was bigger than themselves. And I feel like the youth that is here, that's what they represent, and that's what I'm here to represent. So in closing, to end this, I want to thank all my friends and family. And if I could have everybody here that I kind of harassed to be here this evening, if they could all come up here, because I feel like everybody should be represented and be a part of this round of applause, because like one of the other students said, it really does take a village, and this is my village, and I feel like they should be represented. I will call you people out individually if you don't gracefully walk up here. That will happen. See it over here.
You want to present with them?
I just want all of them to stand up here, honestly. This is my village, and there's so many more that aren't here. But this is my people right here, and if it wasn't for them and a lot of people that couldn't make it, there's no way I could be a doctor. So I will end it with this: Wakanda forever.
And exceed and excel and absolutely go beyond measure. Think about what was stated here about some of the struggles that were shared. What are your takeaways? I will now give the last word to the executive director of My Brother's Keeper, Pastor David Jones.
Hey, I want to thank all of you guys for coming out. You are what makes this event what it is. And again, let's give another hand. You can't give too many of them to our young people. I have a surprise announcement for all of our seniors who received an award. We are going to be providing to you when you matriculate onto your college campus. We're going to be providing you a scholarship grant for $750 that'll at least help you with your books. I remember when my kids went off to college, I used to say, well, what the heck is 750 going to do? What's 200 going to do? When they went off, I was looking for every bit of every dime, every nickel that we can get. And I know you're ready to get out of here, but I must say this about Stephan, and the reason why we selected to honor him. You heard all the academic stuff he's doing, right? And yet he has never stopped investing and mentoring into young people. When I met him, he was mentoring young people. I remember I was standing out in front of the arena for something. There was something going on, and here he comes down the street with about 12, 15 young people. Every time I see him, he's engaging young people. He invited me down to Kutztown with the TRIO initiative that they're doing down on Kutztown, helping kids who are first generation into college. And what's he doing down there? Mentoring with kids. While he is pursuing his own academic pursuits and excellence, he's never stopped investing in others. What's your excuse? So with that, again, I want to thank you for coming out. One last thing. If you are interested in working on a team, because next year, this will be our last year here in the county. Next year, we want to turn this platform into a gala where we can raise a whole lot of money to give these kids to contribute to their academic success. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't he be so thrilled and excited to pay $75 for a ticket, get a good meal, and so into a young person's life? I don't hear no clapping. Well, listen, if you're interested in being part of the planning team for that, because listen, I mean this with all sincerity of heart, we need doers, not talkers. So if you're interested in doing some work, come see me, because we're going to start the planning process in March for next year. So if you're interested in working, not just talking, come see me. With that, let's stand on our feet. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank my fellow commissioners for their attendance. I want to thank them for the grant that they provided to My Brother's Keeper. Without funding, we really couldn't do any of this. And to all of you award recipients and representatives from the school, if I can see you up front, there's some additional photos that we'd like to take. We'd be so honored. Again, thank you for coming out. Drive home safely. God bless you all.